This is Eddie Hearn, Matchroom Boxing. You're watching Sporting Icons. You don't need to be anywhere else.
Alright, so Eddie Hearn has revealed that Mayweather Promotions have sent a legal letter to him because Eddie Hearn keeps talking about signing Gervonta Tank Davis. Apparently he's still under contract with Mayweather Promotions. Now, there's a few ways of looking at this one. Now, the legal ramifications of this one is, yes, they are correct. So if Tank Davis is still under contract, then Eddie Hearn can't publicly say, I want to sign him. He's not really supposed to do that, that is for sure. But at the same time, Tank Davis did say that this is my last fight with Mayweather Promotions, as in the Rolly Romero fight. Now, is that an indication of he had a multi-fight deal? So once the final fight under his contract was done with Rolly Romero, from that moment, he then becomes a free agent. Some fighters do have those kind of contracts with their managers and promoters. Others will have an end date. So, for example, his contract could be up at some point here in June, or maybe July next month, or maybe even August. But he's saying that this is my final fight under them because he's not going to squeeze another fight in before his contract ends. It's difficult to know. Now, how would Eddie Hearn find out? Well, there's multiple ways of finding out whether somebody's under contract or not. Well, you could speak with somebody who doesn't have a license, for example. And it's happened with me, it has, where I have found out that certain fighters are under contract with certain managers, certain promoters, whatever, okay? And I can ask them, when does your deal expire? Now, as long as I don't say who asked me to do that and say, okay, well, when your deal is expired, contact so-and-so. They want to sign you. Okay, because again, there could be some kind of legal ramifications for the person who has asked me to do that, or people who have asked me to do that. So there are ways around it. Now, I get no ramifications because I'm not a license holder. I can ask whatever question I want to ask. The board here in the UK can't touch me. Any kind of governing bodies or whatever in the States can't touch me. So there are ways around it. But for them to send Eddie Hearn a legal letter, I mean, that's a bit much. But it wouldn't surprise me. And would that be Floyd Mayweather who's done that? No, probably not. It's probably Leonard Ellerby. Leonard Ellerby has a real beef with Eddie Hearn. He doesn't like Eddie Hearn. He says that if he could end anybody in boxing, it would be Eddie Hearn and all that kind of stuff. In fact, he can't stop talking about Eddie Hearn. Why is that? Because Leonard Ellerby fears Eddie Hearn. That's why he does it. He's scared to death of Eddie Hearn. You've got this brash Brit going over to America, signing up all these fighters and paying them a lot more money than what they are currently getting on certain platforms like the PBC. In fact, Eddie Hearn did an interview with IFL recently where I kind of got the impression that he was suggesting that whether it be Mayweather Promotions or whether it be the PBC are not paying Tank Davis his value. Now, if you were to look online how much Gervonta Davis got paid for the Rolly Romero fight, it will come up with a number in the region of $2 million. Now, Leonard Ellerby said after the fight that the arena was sold out, was at 18.6 thousand, plus however many pay-per-views that it's going to be doing. Should Tank Davis get more than 2 million? Well, somebody's getting that money, and if it's not Tank Davis, then who is? Well, that'd be down to the PBC and Mayweather Promotions, wouldn't it? Are Mayweather Promotions making more money from Tank Davis than Tank Davis is getting? It shouldn't be that way, should it? Because ultimately, I mean, if they're owning the show, they're putting on the show, they're the ones getting the gate receipts, they're the ones getting the pay-per-views, and then they're just giving Tank Davis his 2 million, plus he has to pay his manager's fee of between 10 and 25%. So they're getting a cut of his 2 million, plus they're getting money from the show in that themselves, but Tank Davis isn't. Now, one thing we can say about Eddie Hearn and Matchroom is that when he puts on fight nights, the main event, the headliner, will pretty much control the show. So they will see what gate receipts are. They will see what pay-per-views, if of course there's a pay-per-view. They will see the sponsorships. They will see what their fight night generated. And they will get a cut of that. That's pretty much how it works out. Okay. Now, of course, I'm sure he's put on plenty of fights where the fighter has got a set amount of money. So whether the gate does well or whether it flops, whether it does high viewing figures or whether it doesn't, whether you can get great sponsorships in or whether you can't, that fighter will get that guaranteed money, that guaranteed purse. And I'm sure at times Eddie Hearn's probably lost money doing that. Other times he's probably made money doing it that way. Okay, but that's pretty much boxing. Now, for Eddie Hearn to say how he wants to go sign Gervonta Tank Davis, I mean, okay, that'd be interesting. But even though Eddie Hearn, yes, he can pay Tank Davis his value. He can pay Tank Davis a lot more money than what he's currently getting. No doubt about that. The problem that Eddie Hearn's got is, who is he going to get him fights with? Who? Because Eddie Hearn doesn't have anybody that Tank Davis can fight. It doesn't. He couldn't really deliver for Devin Haney, so how can he deliver for Tank Davis? The fighters that you and I want to see Tank Davis fighting are not with Eddie Hearn's matchroom. They're not. You got Ryan Garcia. Yes, he's on DAZN, which is the same platform as Eddie Hearn, but Ryan Garcia is a Golden Boy fighter. So Tank Davis may as well just go with Golden Boy, mightn't he? Or just be a free agent. You can literally hop from show to show to show, depending on the fight. On ESPN Top Rank, they've got Teofimo Lopez. They've got Vasily Lomachenko. Currently, they've got Devin Haney in that, for example. George Campos Jr., he's a Lou DiBella fighter, I believe. So he may as well go with Top Rank, mightn't he? So if he goes with Eddie Hearn, he's going to find himself in the exact same position of not being able to get the big fights that he wants. Now, don't be wrong. I mean, Eddie Hearn can get him fights, but it won't be the fights that you and I want to see him with. And yes, he will get paid a lot of money. A lot more money than currently what he's getting. No doubt. But anyway, I mean, that said, if Tank Davis stays with Mayweather Promotions, I mean, listen, they can still be his manager, but does he necessarily have to be on the PBC? I mean, if you're with Mayweather Promotions as your manager, then effectively you have to be on the PBC. That seems to be kind of how it works, from what I can tell. But the PBC aren't giving him the kind of fights that you and I want to watch him in. They're not. They're really not. And if it's true, and if I'm understanding what Eddie Hearn said about them pretty much skimming or scamming Tank Davis, so they're making money on Tank Davis, and Tank Davis is getting a fraction of what he's worth, well, there's nothing in the world Tank Davis can do about it. Either he's going to pull down his pants, bend over and continue taking it, or he's going to do something about it. Anyway, that's what's going on. Mayweather Promotions have sent Eddie Hearn a legal letter saying stop talking about signing Tank Davis. He's still under contract. What can you do? Drop your thoughts below, click thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next video.